What's up, everybody? So today I'm gonna be cooking up one of my favorite dishes, pinto beans and sausage. It's kind of like my play on red beans and sausage. Love red beans, but I just always tend to gravitate towards the pinto beans. I'm gonna be using Eddie's smoked sausage. It's just one I'm hooked on right now. It's so delicious. You can get it at any grocery store. This is made with beef and pork, but this is gonna be super easy, super flavorful. Everybody that has it always just raves about how delicious and comforting it is. So let's get to it. 1 bag of pinto beans, premium beef Texas smoked sausage, 1 onion, chicken broth. Always sharpen your knives. You're only as good as your tools in the kitchen. I mean, you're only as good as your tools in any situation, but especially the kitchen. Sharpen that knife, makes chopping super easy. You don't have to chop it too thin or mince it down too much. Just little chunky style is fine. We're just gonna cook these down in the pot before we put in our beans. So we're gonna hit it with a little bit of oil. Just using a little bit of vegetable oil. And then we're gonna come in with our onions. Just kind of sweat them down a little bit. Okay, we're gonna go in with our chicken broth. We're gonna use 2 boxes, which each box is 4 cups, so that's 8 cups. We can always cook some of that liquid out if we have too much. We can always add it if we don't have enough. Let's go in with the beans, y'all. You can soak these overnight. They'll cook a lot faster if you do that, but I got plenty of time. I'm not in any hurry. Oops, don't want that. Give that a little stir. Now let's season. All right, so it's time to put the seasoning in and make it taste good, right? So all I'm gonna use is salt, a couple of pinches of salt, some fresh cracked pepper, some Frank's Red Hot, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and I use a seasoned blend. Sometimes I use Tony's, sometimes I use some local stuff that I got here at the grocery store that I'm really turned on to right now. It's called Red Rub, which is basically just like an allspice or an all seasoning. I'll put that in there as well. And that's really it, you guys. Just a couple of drops of Worcestershire sauce because it is strong stuff, but it makes all the difference in the world. Onion powder. I kind of go on feel, but let's just say a couple tablespoons, maybe a tablespoon of garlic. Taste it later. If you need to add it, you can add it. A couple drops of Frank's Red Hot. Fresh cracked peppercorns, salt, Red Rub, Cajun tradition. This is good stuff, y'all. Very good blend of spices. And that's it. Give it a stir, bring it up to a boil, and then turn it to a simmer, and then cover it. All right, so the beans are covered and they are simmering over there on the stove, and it's starting to smell super delicious in this house, by the way. We're gonna go ahead and start chopping the sausage. So I'll typically cut the sausage down in a bunch of little chunks, and then I will half that and make little half moon cuts. To me, it's more edible, it's got a better mouthfeel, it's just the perfect bite size piece. You can cut this sausage however you want, however shape you want, whichever. You can do little chunks, or you can do the full circle medallions, which is the way I used to do it, but this is just the way I prefer it. It's all a matter of preference. Okay, we got our bowl of sausage cut up. We're gonna throw those in the pan, cook them down a little bit, get a little bit of color on them before we put those in the pot. So the sausage is already pre-cooked, it's already been smoked, but we're just gonna wake up those flavors, get it brown, get those flavors popping a little bit before we put it in the pot, because that's gonna really make the flavor taste so much better. All right, so we're gonna scoop these out. They are ready. Got me a little strainer and a ladle. Ladle these into the strainer, drain some of that grease off, and then we're gonna put them in the pot. Oh man. Man, that smells good. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover that. We're gonna cook that down for about 3 to 4 hours. Make sure to check it periodically, give it a stir. Always taste your food along the way. If it needs a little bit more salt or pepper or whatever, throw that in there. Remember, those beans really absorb that liquid. So add some more chicken stock or water if needed, because you don't want it to thicken up too much and you don't want it too thin. But yeah, now let's let it cook. All right, let's check it. Oh man, that is looking good, y'all. Now that looks like a pot of beans and sausage is supposed to look like. Let's give it a little taste. That is exactly what we're looking for. That's gonna be delicious. Okay, over here we have some rice cooking. Almost finished. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who want to know, I'm just using extra long grain white rice. All right, let's ladle us up some. Okay, so I got the rice. I like to take an ice cream scoop, scoop out the rice, and put a dollop of that right on top of the beans. Makes a pretty little presentation. Then you can, if you got some fresh parsley, you can sprig off a few pieces and throw on top of that. Maybe dust it with a little bit of allspice or season all. All right, you guys, I'm just gonna dig in, get a little bite of everything, some of that sausage, some of the pinto beans and rice. That is exactly what I'm looking for. So that's my red beans and sausage, or pinto beans and sausage. It's very simple, very delicious, sure to be a crowd pleaser, sure to leave any of your guests feeling satisfied and full. You will get a high five off of this one for sure. This is how I love to cook. Things that just are simple, but flavorful. And this dish brings it. So if you try this recipe, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear about it. We'll see you next time.